One of the odd things about studying history, I'm basically an ancient historian. My oldest son is a modern historian, and I sometimes tease him that it's so hard for him because there's so much evidence. He studies 19th century France, and there are millions of pamphlets and newspapers and archives and documents. You will never get to the bottom of it. And I study first century Greco-Roman world with Judaism in particular, and there's not nearly as much evidence. If I had nothing else to do, I could probably sit down and read through all the first century evidence from Greece and Rome and Palestine and Israel and so on in perhaps a year or so. I might have to give up golf and a few other things, but could be done. And so inevitably with ancient history, there are lots of gaps, and that's simply par for the course. There are many years where we really don't know what was going on very much anywhere in the ancient world. But at certain other points, we have a bright light shed on certain key elements. In the first century BC, we get that not least because a well-known Roman lawyer and politician called Cicero wrote a lot of letters to friends which have survived, giving a very sharp, clear picture of what Roman society was like, what was going on, who was in, who was out, and all of that. And then a century later, we have another Roman called Seneca, who also wrote a lot of letters and pamphlets and books and so on. And we can see quite a lot about what the Roman world of his day was like. In between the two of them, though much closer to Seneca than Cicero, we have Paul writing his letters, which again give us a very sharp, clear, focused spotlight on what earliest Christianity was all about. And then we have these extraordinary documents we call the Gospels, which, as colleagues of mine have argued, go back to very early eyewitness testimony, where we really do know a very great deal, not about everything that happened in the first 30 years of the first century, but about the public career of Jesus of Nazareth, and particularly about the events concerning his death and what happened immediately afterwards. So though, yes, a lot of ancient history is lost in the mist of time, there's plenty of ancient history which we do have very sharp, clear focus on, and Jesus and Paul sit right in the middle of that.